Hey guys, it's Max Alper here. I'm the founder and director of Sonic Arts for All, and today we're going to be having our Beatmaking 101 lesson. We're going to be using specifically GarageBand, the Apple software for iOS. You could do this on your phone, could be an iPad mini, or you could go all the way up to our amazing little iPad Pro here. In order to start, when you open up the software, you're going to see just a blank screen like this with recent projects. We're going to make a new project, so we have to click on the plus sign on the right-hand corner. When we click that, it's going to ask us what we want our first instrument to be. And you can see we have tons and tons of options, which is really nice and worth exploring on your own. But for today, we're going to focus on the beat sequencer, which you can find under drums. So as we open up, we can see our beat sequencer as well as a timeline showing what the default length of our piece is as we start, which is for now 8 bars. But before we make any music, I'd really like to just talk about how we determine tempo and things like that. So when we open up our piece and it's just the beat sequencer, we can go to this nice little function right here on the right-hand corner. It looks like a little wrench. We click on the wrench and it opens up our settings page. Now we see a few different things here. First, let's click on tempo. Tempo, as we know, is the speed of our piece, our composition. And there's 2 ways of setting your tempo for the piece. There's the tap tempo function, and then there's just scrolling and picking your BPM manually. A tap tempo is really nice because if you have the tempo in mind for your beat, you can just tap it out in quarter notes, and you should be able to set the tempo automatically. So if I want my piece to be 1, 2, 3, 4, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then look, it says roughly 105 beats per minute. So that's really cool. We can use that. Let's use 105 as the set tempo. Now we can start thinking about our first instrument. If we turn on the power function right in the middle, you can see the steps are already put into motion. So as you can see, there are 16 steps per instrument on our sequencer. 16, it's really nice because that works really well into our 4/4 time signature. And we are working now in 16th notes. So that's a really nice way to visualize how we make our rhythm. So let's start it piece by piece. The first instrument we see looks like a kick drum. So maybe for the sake of making something very simple to start, we'll do what we call 4 to the floor, which is what we hear a lot in dance music like techno, house. Even disco and more pop music has something like this. So we hear that 4 to the floor. That 4 to the floor is playing every quarter note. So we can hear that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Really simple. From there, let's think about what we want our next pattern to be on the next instrument, which in this case is a snare drum. I'm just going to make something random to start. Maybe we'll make a little Latin dembo beat. There we go. Now moving down the instrumentation, our next one is a clap, which is nice because that can be a nice little accent we can use on our snare if we want to, or it can be a totally separate function altogether. What I want to do is I want to have a very minimal clap presence. I'm going to add it to the 3, the 3rd quarter note of our measure. Add a little bit more. Now we can get a little funky with it. Cool. Now, moving down a little further, we see some cymbals here. This is a closed hi-hat, our first cymbal here. Closed hi-hat's really nice. We can add a nice little sizzle to it. One of those little hi-hat sounds on the 16th notes. Very basic. Nice. Maybe take a few out to keep it interesting. Nice. And then the next one coming down is an open hi-hat. We can put the open hi-hat wherever our closed hi-hat isn't. So match it up with the track above it. Adds a nice lively feel to it. Now we can go into our auxiliary percussion instruments here. Looks like we have both a tom-tom and some bongos here. Now here we can get a little funky, a little creative, just mix up the random. Random is fun. Nice. And then bongos, maybe on the ones where we don't have the tom-tom. Now we have our wood block, or rather our drumstick click sound here as our last instrument. Maybe we could put that on a clave, you know, more of a traditional Latin groove, because this kind of has a Latin feel to it. So that'll be K, 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 K. Nice. So it's a little bit of a take on a clave sound. All right, now we have a full drum sequence going. Hope you guys had a good time learning about this stuff. Thank you guys all again. Thank you to the Lessonface folks on behalf of Sonic Arts for All in conjunction with Lessonface. See you guys next time. Breakdown.